Hello and welcome to Labor Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week edition of the program, we'll be focusing on activities in the maritime sector and how it affects Nigerian workers. We also have new stories for you. We will be right back.
The Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, (NARTO), in the Southwest Zone has raised concerns about the deteriorating state of roads and escalating insecurity, appealing to governors and the Federal Controller of Works for immediate intervention.
The major problems we have now is that most of us are not operating, we are not insolvent with our operations because we are operating at loss. But we cannot, there's nothing we can do than to move forward until maybe when the stability of the economy comes back, we shall be able to recoup all our losses.
During the inauguration of newly elected members, the NATO zonal chairman highlighted pressing issues faced by transport owners and their impact on business operations.
I just want to appeal to them through the Federal Controller of Works, because the Federal Controller of Works are the representative of the federal in every state, to please help us. The roads are bad, especially Lagos Abeokuta is an eyesore, Lagos Badagry is an eyesore, Magan Osogbo is an eyesore, and we, like in Ogun State, like Shagamu, we do record accident there, especially when you are entering into Shagamu because of the express. Many have gone, so we appeal to the governor of Ogun State, if you can, if it's no, to help us, let them have a beautiful roundabout or overhead bridge at the entrance of Shagamu, so that we will not record any death in that place again.
The National Union of Food, Beverages and Tobacco Employees (NUFBTE) held its National Executive Council meeting in Kano State, Nigeria. The National Executive Council meeting was themed Re-engineering Trade Union and Industrial Relation Practice as a catalyst towards securing a sustainable industrial and workers' growth. Leaders of the trade union spoke on the need for employers to allow workers organize and belong to a union.
It has shown beyond reasonable that partnership and collaboration between the employers and the union has been helping to engender industrial peace and harmony, and by extension helping to improve the welfare of our workers and the condition of service. So we want to lay much focus and to give orientation to all our rank and file members.
International law, our national law, everywhere give everybody freedom of association. So we are calling on the management to allow their workers to belong to the union. A place where there is a union, there's a peace, because union is not enemies to management. Union is a partner in progress with the management. So I was calling on all the management to allow their members to belong to the union.
By meeting with the Association of Food and Beverage, the Employers Association, and now we have a third-party guideline, whereas because in the higher law constitution, worker is a worker, irrespective of whether they are permanent workers or casual workers. So now we have a third-party guideline, whereas we can incorporate those that are casual workers, vulnerable into. So now we are organizing the third parties now.
This project has been of good benefit to the seafarers in Nigeria, and that is why the last time we were in London, we still pleaded that there is no point bringing this project to an end. It still had to continue. And the good news is that the African ITF regional conference that was held, this project was also mentioned there. And when most of the African countries that have not benefited got to know what has happened in Nigeria. Countries like Ghana, countries like Cote d'Ivoire, they have also approached ITF to have a similar experience. So what we are saying is that even though they will be going to Cote d'Ivoire, they will be going to Ghana or any other country in Africa, the Nigeria own must remain.
The scope of the project, as you all know, is increase membership.
Yeah.
Check. The membership is increasing, right? Increase the number of ITF agreements. Check on that. It's increasing, right? The one we have to work with now is the accreditation of the certificates, right, for Nigerian seafarers, and that's an ongoing. Everybody is really, really impressed with the job you are doing here. And I'm so happy to have just a small part of this.
We shall like to move this project forward because, like President Afonso said, we are still having some bit of difficulty here and there. Some of the companies are really not cooperative. But when we start to make inroads and networking, we try to get them to on our side, get the collective bargaining signed, get the workers' rights restored, get the monies paid to them, get all the seafarers, the maritime workers in general, you know, to be happy. We try to be happy because this set of people, they do a great job. Maritime workers, seafarers, dockers, in the whole industry, in the whole sector, they're doing a great job for this great nation of ours.
It's not yet today. Comrade Safiano, the Secretary General of ITF Africa, is not here, but the spirit is here with us. I know the spirit is here with my PG. He has done very well. For him to be able to stand by the union and be able to make sure that mass project should be reality, he has done well.
On the profile interview segment this week, I was speaking with the President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, who also doubles as the Vice President, International Transport Workers Federation. He brings us up to speed on several issues in the maritime sector, while also emphasizing the need for federal government and relevant stakeholders to come up with friendly policies. It's good to have you on the program.
Good to have me.
It's been a long time.
Well, can I say Happy New Year to you?
And there's been a lot of conversation ongoing in your sector, and many things have actually happened. But I think I should start with congratulating you first on your not appointment now, because it was an election. So recently you won the election at the ITF as the Vice President of ITF Global, Chairman for ITF Africa, and you're also board member, executive board member for ITF. How does this feel? What does this mean for the Maritime Workers Union, which you also represent?
It's a lot doing, and first and foremost, I want to use the media to congratulate my members, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, all the executive members of the union, that it is a challenge and it's a way forward for Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. It can only come from us because of our dedication towards the job. As a labor reformist that I call myself, I think I dedicate whatever the elections to all the workers in maritime sectors and including the stakeholders. It's a new dawn in maritime sectors. We have been trusted and tested, and that is why the whole of Africa gave us this mandate. It's a mandate that comes from all Africans, and we'll use the medium to thank all the Africans that supported us during the election period.
Okay. I'm also aware of ITF support towards the creation of a recreational center here in Lagos, Nigeria. Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Well, it's still part of the new dawn in maritime sectors. We have not witnessed it before. For ITF, a global world unionist who They cannot just come to your country and say, yes, we are going to have a project here. They must have confidence in your leadership, believe in what you are doing as an athlete of ITF. Nigeria has been part of ITF almost 30 or 40 years ago, where the former president of dock workers, Chief Ogunleye and late Chief Abam, they were the first to brought in ITF to this country. So whatever we are receiving from there today is not new to us. So yes, there's need for them to have what we call recreation center for the seafarers in Nigeria, first of its kind in Africa. So, and I believe it's a project that involves all the workers in maritime sectors, not only for seafarers, including the dock workers, the MPA, the shipping. So they are part of the project because it's going to house all the 4 athletes that are other maritime workers of Nigeria. So we just need to thank them, and we are not going to use that project for selfish interest, because we must use it to make sure that all the seafarers that are coming from other countries are part of it. It's a recreation center where you can relax yourself, enjoy yourself as a seafarer, including the dock workers, including other members that have interest in going there and enjoy themselves. So if the projects come to stay, I think it's going to be the best of its kind in Nigeria. To house in Nigeria is not bread and butter, because we have been tested, trusted, and that is what made them to come and say, yes, we must give Nigeria this sense of belonging so that we can focus more on our member. So we thank them for honoring us.
Yeah, robust leadership, I must say, not just about always struggling like labor will say the struggle continues, but also expanding the scope of what labor leaders can actually do in the workplace or in the unionism space. So very quickly, I'd like to ask you if there's any update as regards the 50% proposed 50% IGR reduction from ports operation. Is there any updates on this? I know that the union had its own recommendation. Have they started deducting already? How does this affect your members?
Well, I think our concern on the 50% IGR or whatever name they call it, why the union is opposed to it and telling the government to look inward, that an agency that is making more revenue drive for the government should not be disturbed. We go around the airport today. Some of the ports are under the depleted, and the welfare of the workers is our paramount. Any union leaders, you should focus on your membership. Their welfare is very, very important. And the government just come one day and say, okay, yes, we divide what you have into 2. So what happened to the other 50? The one you divided into 2, what happened to them? You issue an ultimatum, but the management of Nigeria Port Authority invited us recently and said, yes, effort is ongoing to make sure that those areas are being looked into by the government to see how they can defend it properly. Yes, it's government's way of doing things that maybe they are trying to save costs to us. We have been convinced by the Managing Director of Nigeria Port Authority that arrangement has been put in place to make sure that the rights of the management are being looked into so that we will not have any issues.
Still talking about welfare of your members, recently there's been an observation in decline in the number of vessels that comes into the port. What is your reaction to this? Do you foresee a situation whereby it might reduce the number of workers that will be needed in that space?
Well, it has even started reducing the number of our members because the workers are part of our investments. When the economic institutions cannot take care of operational standards required by the government or by the terminal operators, when Naira refused to marry dollar refused to marry Naira. So we're having a lot of challenges. Most of the vessels that are coming with 5,000 metric tons have reduced to 1,000 metric tons. It's not as whether you see the vessel on the water that determine the revenue we are talking about. It is the quantity of the throughput that you have on board the vessel that determine, yes, I can sustain the number of workers that I have. But the way it is now, the port is as empty as anything because the dollar rate cannot take care of the activities of the port operations any longer. So some of the investors have run away, and it's affecting our members, where some management have started calling for redundance of our members. So it's affecting us graciously. And what we are saying is that I think recently we now see that the dollar is trying to come down while the naira is coming up. So we are appealing to the government to sustain it, not only sustaining it, to make sure that these dollars have to be crushed.
Recently, when I was coming over to your office, I noticed that there was free flow of traffic. Is there any reason for this, and how has this boosted operations?
Well, for the past 6 years, we've been on this matter of traffic jam in the ports, where the ports, road leading to the port, was taken over by some unscrupulous elements who have nothing to do on the road. But I want to use this medium to thank the management of Nigeria Port Authority, then not only management of MPA, but including the Lagos State Governor, for coming out and make sure that all those trucks are being removed from the road. So the question you need to ask yourself, for the past 6 years, we've been on it. We've been shouting, we've been making noise. Where are those trucks now? So for me now, I can sleep with my two eyes closed. Coming from Festac to my office is a drive of 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So like before, when you spent 4 hours and 3 hours on the road, then we need to commend them very well, commend the Lagos State Governor for taking this action they have taken, but we want them to sustain it. And we don't want, yes, we have done it for 3 months, and after 3 months, those trucks will come back on the road. So it's a welcome development, and all stakeholders will appreciate what the Nigeria Port Authority did on this aspect of the road, including the Lagos State Government.
What do you have to say as regards safety in the workplace, as the president of Maritime Workers Union, as the deputy president of NLC, and also as a president also in the Transport Union, which is also key when it comes to safety? What more do you think needs to be done by relevant stakeholders, home and abroad?
Well, I think the stakeholders should invest more on the safety of the workers in their various terminals. Not only the terminals, including the offices, where the workers have been subjected to hazard work in the ports, where the safety gadgets are not provided by some of the terminal operators, including the offices that they are working for. So I think what we are saying is that we are appealing to them to improve on their safety apparatus. Give me safety boots, give me coverall, give me my hand gloves. The better you improve on that, the better for the workers in that environment. An environment that is not well provided with safety, what do you expect? An accident. An accident will come and damage the life of the workers, where some people even had an accident on board the vessel. Before they even take care of the responsibility of those workers, they take the writing ultimatum, give it a threat. So I think we're using this medium to tell them that this will improve on their safety. And MPA, Nigeria Port Authority, should equally investigate some of the terminal operators that are not having a safety department. It's very important in the port operations. So even in my office, there's what we call domestic accident. It can happen to anybody in your house, in your home, if you are not adapted to the system of providing the safety gadgets required.
Okay, so 2 workers that died at a telecommunication site, and of course they're not well paid, they're contract staff, and yet there was a fire incident and they paid the utmost price. 2 of them died, 2 of them injured. What would be your message to companies, industries, multinationals doing the needful towards ensuring that the workplace is safe for all?
Well, I don't know what to tell them rather than to warn them. It's to warn some of these multinationals who doesn't value the workers that are working for them, who believe they will be using our brothers and sisters that happen to be an HR to tell them, yes, that's what we call NSITF, that's what we call insurance. Yes, some of them doesn't even insure the workers that are working for them. They believe in that 0.1% for the payment to NSITF. Yes, it's happening in the port too, where workers will be subjected to hazard at the key point. Well, an accident will come as a negligence of the terminals or the port itself, where forklift, there won't be lightning in the terminals. So many accidents have been happening in the port as a result of negligence coming from the management of that particular terminal. So who suffer it? It is the worker that suffer it at the end of the day. And even the compensation will not be given until when the union is issuing threats. And because they'll be telling you, yes, they are being insured, NSITF is going to pay. Before the NSITF paid for insurance or benefits of that workers, what effort have you put in place as a management to make sure that the workers under you are well taken care of? We need to warn them decisively that there's need for them to improve on this safety. It's very important. And the port too should be lightning. Where you ask me to come and do night operations and there's no light in the terminal, what do you expect? There will be an accident either from the truck, either from even the crane itself. So this accident is man-made, and it should be curtailed by the people that gave them the job. It's part of agreement you reach with the terminal, with the government, that yes, make sure your terminal are habitable for the workers, for everybody to work. So to us as a union, we are only sending signal to them that any accident recorded in any terminal today, we will shut down the terminal.
Very quickly, let's move on to the International Mayday celebration, which is in some few days as well. What will be your message to Nigerian workers? What will be your message to employers of labor, especially those that still practice indecent work?
Well, it is to thank all the workers in Nigeria and congratulate them for their patience. We find ourselves, what we find ourselves now is that the economy situation, the workers find themselves now, we are managing as the palliative incentive they are talking about. Some companies have not paid, while some companies have paid. So this Mayday celebration is to send signal to all those ones that refuses to pay these palliative incentives declared by the government. Some are still paying this incentive to these poor workers. So Mayday celebration is a ritual that we all celebrate every year. But where is the happiness of the workers? It is a worker that is happy is when you paid him well, you remunerated him properly, he'll be happy with you. But this year's celebration, this year is going to be one of the best or one of the worst as a result of the Naira crashed, and it's affected them. So workers have lost their job as a result of the employers cannot take care of the job any longer. Some companies have folded up. So, but we need to congratulate ourselves for being patient, and I pray the next year's celebration is going to be better than this one.
Finally, I would like to ask you about the International Women's Day celebration, which you celebrated some days ago. What will be your message to women in the sector, and will there be a word of encouragement to women that might want to take up a career in the maritime sector?
Well, To me, our woman should be celebrated every day. Me talking to you today, it was a woman that gave birth to me. And I think I'm married with children, and I know what they had, and I know what my mother passed through for me to be what I am today. So our women should be celebrated every day, not on the 8th of March, has been declared or legislated by the whole world. But to me, women should be celebrated every day because of what they pass through in the hands of men. So I believe after God, it should be a woman, because you don't know how you come to this world. They are like your God. And I used to tell everybody that I celebrated my wife, my children every day. It's not on the 8th of March. In maritime sectors, we have women that have taken over responsibility that men have dominated over the years. We have crane operators, we have winchmen, we have tally clerks, we have from board and women. Now we have RTG being driven by women. So my executive here have about 3 women. My national officer said there are about 3 women that we have. And what I'm trying to do is to make sure that they should take more responsibility from branches, from the district, from the unit level. Men should not dominate the maritime sectors. But thank God, women have taken most of this responsibility that we are talking about.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.